I'm happy as an Eagles fan that it wasn't the Cowboys. I
Right.
think we can all be happy about
Right.
that. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Joe Castro. You know what it is, aka Philly Fresco. It's Philly the podcast, and I am here with my girl Symone. Say what up to the people.
Hey everyone, what's going on?
So if you guys aren't already, obviously she does have her own channel. Be sure to go over there, sub her up, show mad love. Always gotta, put on for the Eagle content creators because we are the best. It is what it is.
Right.
Um, so today we'll just go over a little bit about sports. Obviously, there's some big news in Philly. We'll save
hmm
that for the end. But I know she's a basketball fan, so we'll start right off there. What is your team, anyways?
Well, I don't have a team when it comes to basketball because it's so many players like I'm a fan of. My only real team is the Eagles. When it comes to basketball, like I'm a fan of so many different players. Like I love Russell Westbrook, I love Jimmy Butler, obviously love LeBron James. So
I
it's a lot of
respect it.
different guys like I can get behind in the NBA, and especially in the NBA where those guys move around so much these days.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to be a fan of just one team.
I'm old school. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Nets fan. I've been a Nets fan since they were in Jersey. So
Okay.
when KD came over, I cried a whole river. Trust me, I was so excited. But that's dope. That's dope. So how do you
Yeah.
feel about sports being back? Especially the NBA. We're starting to get into some actual games, stuff that matters. How
Yeah.
does that feel? Are you excited to have the season back?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've been struggling, like trying to find stuff to watch on TV, because usually like we watch the game at night, and then like the NBA just stopped so abruptly. Like I feel like the season was over. Like it's been gone for months, so it's gonna be kind of weird to have it come back, and especially like with football, like
Hmm.
gearing up and getting ready too. It's gonna be weird. Like football kicking off and the playoffs of NBA. It's gonna be a weird
It's
time,
all
but
mashed up. Yeah.
yeah.
It's cool though. It's kind of a
hmm
sports dream, a sports person's
Yeah.
dream. There's going to be so much going on at once. With
Yeah.
that being said, obviously they're doing a whole different season for basically everything except for
Yeah.
football as of right now. How do you feel about the brackets that they're doing with the NBA? Like, who do you kind of see maybe benefiting from that? Maybe some teams won't benefit as much. What do you think about this new playoff system?
I think it's cool for what they can do. I feel like it's good that they gave like the lower seeds a chance to, they didn't jump right into the playoffs. They gave the lower seeds a chance because a lot of these teams were really heating up. Like when Zion came back to the Pelicans, like who knows what the
Definitely.
Pelicans would have done if they had Zion all season. So it'd be cool to see them, like a bunch of young guys, like hungry. You got the old heads, trying to get their next rings. But I definitely feel like I don't think anybody's really gonna benefit because there's so many different guys on the team, and like we saw with Lou Will recently, like one guy can slip up and like that's one of your key players, and then now the
Definitely.
whole team is kind of like now we got to start and play the Lakers without Lou Will. So like whoever got the
It's
strongest mindset, like I really feel like LeBron, like my three favorite, LeBron, Russell, and Jimmy, those three guys, their mindset seems solid, but are their teammates' mindset solid as well? That's what we're gonna
very
find
true.
out.
See, the Nets have no players apparently. So
Yeah.
like, every we signed backups, and our backups need to have backups
Right.
signed. It's like it's ridiculous. But I do agree with you 100%. It's gonna be. I think the vets. If you had to pick anybody
hmm
who's gonna benefit from it, probably them because they're on load management half the time,
Yeah.
anyways. Which makes me think Kawhi is probably just gonna take over this whole time. Once it's actually playoffs, I just feel like he's gonna take straight off because he's
Yeah.
used to not playing a whole season anyway. So
That's true.
it's going to be good for him. But so we'll go from that, like you said, the mindset. So we'll kind of shift into football now.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, I want to get your mindset on the whole Jamal Adams. I did get to see your story on Instagram. I know you weren't too excited about it. So like, how did you feel when you first heard that?
I was just okay. Jamal Adams expressed a while ago, like he wanted out of the Jets, but with so much news that's circulating these days in sports, it kind of got lost, in the news cycle. Like we forgot that he wasn't feeling the Jets. So I was like, when I got the breaking news, I was like, first of all, when you get the breaking news, you like, what is it? Like, you know, you like, what's
Who do you
going on?
go to?
Especially
Who
with
do you
all,
go to?
right, like, especially with all the sports going on, you like, breaking news for who? Like, it could
Yeah,
be NBA, football. So I just feel like that Jamal Adams, I'm just worried about how that's going to affect, you know, Jadeveon Clowney. Because one, you know, the Seahawks is one of the toughest teams always for us. Like, they just have our card in the NFC East. And just to see the Seahawks bolstering up at this time is, you know, we got to play the Seahawks, of course, this season. We might meet them in the playoffs, and I don't want them to be any stronger than they've been in the past couple of years.
definitely. Yeah, it's a scary thing. Like you said, we do have a problem with them like every year. And they should just be in our division at this point.
Exactly.
I feel like we play them every single year.
Right.
But I was actually having this conversation. I just posted a video a little while ago, but I was just having this conversation with someone about the Seattle Seahawks and them adding Jamal Adams. And a lot of people are yelling, you know, Legion of Boom 2, we're back, we're back. But that defensive line is not nowhere as strong as it was back then. So a lot of people, you know, I'm nervous now that they're going to get Jadeveon Clowney as well and get even better, like you said. I'm happy as an Eagles fan that it wasn't the Cowboys.
Right.
I think we can all be happy about that. But this is
Yeah.
probably second worst. Like this is probably the second worst
Exactly.
thing to happen. So kind of staying on that, how do you see us matching up against like teams like the Cowboys, the Seattle Seahawks this year? Do you think the Eagles have what it takes to be a playoff team or division winner?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like that all comes from our defensive line. Like, our defensive line is a very, very strong unit. We all know, well, really, I feel like the offensive and the defensive lines, you know, are the most important, you know, groups, of course. But we all know defense wins championships. And last season, our offense really had to keep us in all those games last season because our secondary was so damaged. But now that we have a defense to put, you know, that can match up with our offense, and our offense improved as well, I feel like our defense was our biggest problem last season. I know a lot of people was like lasered in on Nelson and how many balls we dropped, but Carson Wentz really took what he had and took us to the playoffs. So with a good wide receiver core, above average wide receiver core, we're going to be straight when it comes to the offense. But seeing our defense really like come together like glue, like all the pieces we added to the secondary with Nikhil and Darius Slay. Jalen Mills supposedly is going to be healthy all season. So I know we lost Malcolm Jenkins, but I feel like our defense can match up really with any team, especially the Cowboys. We know they have that strong, super duper strong offense that got even better. But we were able to handle that offense last season with our damaged goods of a secondary. So
17-9, never forget.
Exactly. No doubt now with our bolstered secondary and our defensive line looking stronger than ever, we should have no problem. Now the Seahawks, I don't know. The Seahawks, I don't know if it's Russell Wilson or the coach, but they have us figured out. And I don't know how. They have us figured out. Like, they always find a way to win, to beat us. I don't know how.
Outside of like the Cowboys, I feel like Seattle Seahawks and the Saints have been like the biggest thorn in our side the past like decade. It's like every time that we're making a little progress, here they come and mess everything up. No, but I definitely agree with you. I mean, like you said, Carson, I'm a huge believer. If you take Carson and you look at him and you look at McNabb, they're going through the same exact kind of beginning that they both are having the same exact beginning that each other had just because of the weapons or lack thereof. But like you said, you give him one wide receiver that can just, open up the field, which we hope Jalen Reagor can be, and that offense will be fine. The running game is, fine. We're fine on offense. Like you said, we need our defense to figure it out. Like there's a couple games like that Dolphins game, that game against the Falcons where we just didn't want to tackle Julio at the end for some reason.
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of games that we should
do a rematch with Darius.
Seriously. I mean, and to your point, like you said, the Cowboys offense did get better, but in the same token, they did kind of giving Dak more mouths to feed maybe isn't the best thing that they should have done. Exactly. Obviously, they don't have a defense. I mean, unless their defensive line goes crazy like it did like 2 years ago, I want to say it was. They don't have a defense realistically. Their cornerbacks are gone. They don't really have much outside of a couple good linebackers.
That was a huge loss with Byron Jones. I was surprised at that, especially
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Their offense was the strongest unit. You think they would spend that, free agency time and stuff, keeping the defense intact and making the defense better. But hey, y'all do what y'all want over there.
Exactly. We ain't mad at it. We ain't mad at it.
Right.
Do what you got to do, guys. I ain't mad at it. That actually brings me to another thing too. I don't know if you've seen this at all. They were talking about lowering the salary cap, and they were talking. Yeah, they were talking about like a significant amount, like 20 million. It wouldn't go until like 2021, and it's just something they're talking about. But it just makes me think of people like Dallas and even teams like the Chiefs on the opposite end. One team paid a lot of money for their quarterback. One team doesn't have the money now for their quarterback if they lose that 20 million cap. How do you feel the Eagles came out with Carson's contract? Are you happy about that contract looking forward? Do you think it was a steal or?
I think it was a good contract. I feel like when he signed the contract, I remember I was reading a couple of articles, and they go really in depth into the salary cap and all that. I'm no expert, but they were saying how like we really get in him cheaper every year because of the way that the salary cap is steadily growing. Like we really got him for a bargain for a long period of time. And I feel like usually when you see these, like take Seattle, for instance, when Seattle was on their Super Bowl run, the defense was getting paid. Russell wasn't getting paid all of that money. You can even look at the Patriots. Tom Brady never really got paid that huge buck. So I don't think paying your star quarterback all the money and not, delegating, coins to everyone else, you run into the problem. Yeah, you make it to the Super Bowl or you make it on that run. But then once those rookie contracts come up, everybody like, hey, where my money? You run into a problem.
Exactly. That's a very good point. I'm excited. I mean, I think we're going to kill it this year. I think the Eagles are going to take the division pretty easily. I think there's just too much, unknowns everywhere else in our division.
Yeah.
I think the Giants are going to be better than the Cowboys this year. A lot of people are saying I'm crazy for that, but I think they will. I don't know. Something about them just tells me they're going to be. I just think the Cowboys are going to fail. Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to, even though they just cut their kicker today.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they just cut his kicker. They got some new guys. I mean, we'll see. It is what it is. They always give us trouble too. So, last question. I want to get your take on this too. I want a Super Bowl prediction. I want to know who you think is going to be your Super Bowl pick. The two teams.
Well, of course, I had to say the Eagles. I mean, I gotta stay optimistic. But when it comes to the AFC, that's a lot going on. I want to say, I mean, of course, the Chiefs is coming off of their crazy year, but it's also some, sleeper teams. I mean, I can see the Ravens also, they have some work to do a little bit on defense as well. I would love to see, I would love to see Eagles Steelers just because I'm always a Steelers fan. And I think that would be just like a throwback dope game, but who knows? I mean, the AFC has a lot going on. And in football, like, it's very small margin of error. 1 game, 2 games off, and you out the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
big facts.
To make it to the Super Bowl, everything has to go right, like, for your season. Like, you can't everything has to go right. Everybody has to be healthy, no slip-ups. And it's a lot of interesting things going on in the AFC. Like we got Cam Newton to the Patriots, like, and he's fired up and ready to go. Like,
I would like to see him do well. I don't think he's gonna, but I wouldn't mind seeing him do good.
You don't think he's going to do well?
I don't like the Patriots this year.
I don't like them, but I love Cam Newton.
I mean, yeah, I got respect for Cam. I feel like he got disrespect. I think he'll do good on his own. But them as a team, I just don't think. As a team. Yeah, I don't think he's really fits what they do. To be honest, I don't think Bill Belichick obviously hasn't had many quarterbacks. He's had like 3 or 4, but he's never had a quarterback like Cam. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see how that all works out. And me personally, I just moved out to St. Pete, so I'm like right down the street from Tampa. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping like the Eagles play the Bucks at some point in the playoffs.
I'm not even trying to. I'm not even.
I just want to see the game. I just want to see the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that would be dope. That would be dope. But all right, I'm gonna let you go. This was fun. We got to do this again. Maybe closer to the season, we can get some. I'm sure a bunch of more stuff is gonna happen.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Before I let you go, please give out your your socials and everything where people can find you.
Okay, so pretty much Instagram, YouTube, Symone. with a Y, Symone with the sports. Twitter, Symone, Symone _ Stanley, Stanley.
That's a lot of S's right there. That's a
I
whole bunch
know. I know
of...
it's a lot.
Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on. And like I said, we'll do this again. But
Yeah.
you know what it is. Other than that, it's fly eagles fly.
Fly eagles fly.
Hey, and we out here. Peace.
She takes